Hey everybody, it's Cecilia from Jilby Delivers. Today we are going to make a fresh strawberry shortcake. We're going to start by making a homemade shortcake, then we'll do some strawberries and some whipped cream. So now this is what we are going to use to make our shortbread biscuits. And I have 2 cups of flour in here. I also have a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 tablespoon of baking powder. I'm just going to go ahead and add my 3 tablespoons of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of sugar and about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to go ahead and mix this nicely combined. And after that, I'm going to work in my butter. So now I've got my 10 tablespoons of cold butter, and using my fingers, I'm going to work the butter into the flour, just like you do with a pie crust, until it resembles sort of like a coarse pea-like consistency. So now I've worked my flour and butter together, my flour mixture and butter, and you can see how the butter sort of worked into all the flour. Then I'm going to take 3/4 cup of buttermilk and just pour it in there. And then using a spatula, I'm going to stir this in till it's just a very wet kind of shaggy dough. So I've gone ahead and using floured hands, I just separated my dough into 8 fairly even-sized they'll be biscuits. And you know, it's fine if they're a little craggy like this. They look really beautiful when they're all baked up and they have a lot of little nooks and crannies. And then before I bake them, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle them with a little bit of coarse sanding sugar. And from this point, I can either refrigerate them for an hour or pop them in the freezer. But if you want to serve them warm, then you can just refrigerate them for an hour until it's time to bake them. Or you can put them in the freezer for up to 3 or 4 weeks. And these are going to go into a 425-degree oven for probably 13 to 15 minutes. Once they're golden brown, we'll pull them out. Then once they're cooled, we'll slice them in half and then fill them with our strawberries and our whipped cream. So here are what my shortcakes are going to look like after they come out of the oven. They're nice golden brown, and you can see the dusting of sugar on top. I'm going to serve mine room temperature, so I'm going to let these just cool for a little bit. Then I'll slice them and fill them with our strawberry mixture and whipped cream. So I've taken 2 pounds of fresh strawberries. I've washed them and hulled them and just cut them into thick slices. Now I'm going to take about 1/3 of them. I'm going to put them in here and I'm going to mash them till they're a nice puree. And so this is our strawberries that have been just crushed with a fork to make kind of a rough puree. And then I've added 3 tablespoons of strawberry jam. I'm going to go ahead and add my 1/2 cup of sugar. And then I'll mix these in with the other strawberries, and then it'll be ready for our strawberry shortcake. You know, if you don't care for strawberries, or it's kind of getting later into the summer, you can always use any other stone fruits you like. This would be delicious with, you know, peaches or apricots or nectarines. If you use a different fruit, you can always just use an apricot jam rather than a strawberry. You can even use the berry jam if you'd like a blackberry or a raspberry. It just sort of adds a nice sweetness to the final product. And now we'll let this marinate for, you know, about a 1/2 hour. Now I've got my shortcakes ready and I've got my strawberries ready, and I just need to make some whipped cream. This is 1 1/2 cups of cream, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and a teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, so to serve our strawberry shortcake, we're going to take the shortcake base. You're going to go ahead and put it on your plate. We're going to spoon some of this strawberry. You can kind of let it fall over. It's one of the nice things about this is it's a little bit messy. You want all that strawberry juice to kind of go into your shortcake. And then we're going to just put a nice big dollop of whipped cream on it, like that. We'll go ahead and put our shortcake back on top. I'm going to put just a little bit of whipped cream back on top of that. And finish it off with some strawberries. And voila!